So it's been about 20 minutes since we made our flour soft, and you'll be able to see that in one of your videos here in this class. But I want you to see here in about 15-20 minutes we have some flour soft that's fairly dry. All right, so when it's at this consistency, we're able to start using it on our print, our flowers, or different things like that. So how we're going to do this is we're going to use our quick dry tacky glue. And what we're going to do is you're going to place a little bit of glue in the center of your flower, right there like that. And then we're going to use the lighter color, and you can use your hands or you can even use a little scoop like this. And you're going to place it in the center. And what I like to do is after I get it on there, is I take my fingers and kind of push it a little bit in the glue. And that gets it kind of all inside the glue. And what you're going to do is you're going to let this dry, and then tomorrow, it's going to take about 24 hours. You're going to come back and you're going to turn it over and shake any excess off, and then you can take your paintbrush and brush through it before you actually put it on your print. Because if not, then you will have loose flour soft coming out in your print. And if you notice, I put the glue just in the middle, and that's the only place that it needs to be. And when it dries, when I shake it off, you're not getting glue, flour soft way up here because you got glue there. And I basically just want it in the center of the flower. And I press it down the glue a little bit. Go. And when this right here dries, you'll be able to get the excess off. Now I'm going to show you the cut lilies that I've done here, and I have some right here, but let me show you how we're going to do this one. So you'll take your glue and you'll put it on this part right here. And then on this one, on a lot of flowers you can do this way, you're just going to turn it over, lay it in the flour soft like that, and then you can add some more, and you can use your fingers and kind of push it in the glue. And then at this point you can knock some of the excess off right there. And if you don't want to get this stuff on your hands, you can get yourself a pair of latex gloves, but I actually just, it washes away real quick, so I just use my handy wipes after I'm done. So there you see that we got that one covered. And if you want a little bit more, you can just add to it. But it will dry clear, and so you will see no glue behind it. Now the other thing I do is when I'm done with my flour soft, which we're going to need quite a bit more for the rest of this, but whatever I have left over, I use these little containers, and you can just scoop them in there, and they actually last for years. And so that way, when you do something later, you say, oh, I have that flower soft already made. Then you wouldn't have to make any more. And then you just put your lid on, like this. And then you can buy any type of containers. They're usually less than $1 or about $1 at Hobby Lobby, and you can get 4 or 5 in a pack. And that's how you would store your flower soft, and also how you will put them on with regular white glue, fast dry. So that brings us up to another topic that I want to talk about. So when do you use silicone versus tacky glue? Well, I'll just go over a few things with you. Like if I was to use silicone on this right here, where the powder or the flower soft was not on, you would probably see some silicone left on your pieces here. So that's why I would prefer to use the white glue when I'm putting flower soft on. So when you're trying, like we did on last week's class, we were trying to keep the tree to have some shape and lift here. Silicone works best for that because you're able to put it on and pull things away from the background, and it gives it some height. So if you want it to lay flat on something, then you have a choice. But for me, like for this leaf here, you really can just do your preference. You could get away with using the white glue and just tacking it down at the bottom here. Or if you really want to use the silicone, you can put it on there and then have it pull away. But then you have to be careful to make sure you don't see silicone with your pieces raised so high. So if you're going to use silicone, you need to practice with it because it's really messy. It can, you know, get stuck to your prints and things like that. And then you have to watch to make sure you don't see silicone behind images. The other time that I use silicone is whenever I'm going to take like my rabbit. And I haven't completely cut it yet, but once I get the hair ready, here's my base. You would be able to put this on a board like this, but on the other side of a work board, and you would want to use silicone with some foam core so that you can actually do your rabbit, and then you could cut it loose. And you would not be able to cut it loose with glue, but you could cut the silicone away and then put it, when you're finished, inside where it's going to be. So the other thing with silicone and white glue is you want to make sure that you close it up. So with silicone, we have a key here that we sell that helps keep your silicone all the way pushed out. And I'll show you with this one here. When you close your silicone, you want to push a little bit of silicone out because that's get the air out of it, and then you just put your lid on. If not, you'll end up with a dried amount of silicone in here, and then you can't get any silicone out of there. And it's a good way to be able to keep your silicone all pushed up, all the air pushed out, so that you can use it next time without having to try to get the silicone that's dried up in there out. All right, see you next class.